Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa, live from Los Angeles. We are in-house with the practical numerologist, Felicia Bender. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
I saw this great interview with Felicia with our Focus TV family, Joanna Garzilli, and I was instantly hooked. I was like, I need to know more about numerology, about you, about your genius. Where did this begin for you?
It really began for me years ago, as many things do, right? And it came with the death of my mother. I talked about that yesterday, but the brief version is that I was on autopilot early on, and then my mother died, and it was one of those things where I didn't have questions about life before then, and then I had every question, and it really kind of dissolved everything I knew in the world. So it was the beginning point for me to go on this spiritual gauntlet. I just started reading everything I could, finding out everything I could about energy, about intuition, about all of those things. And then years later, I'm a very pragmatic person. I have a PhD in theater. I'm a creative mind, so numbers actually are my worst nightmare.
Mine too!
No, literally. I hate math more than anything on the planet, and so if I can do this, anyone can. Just so you know. And yet numbers for me ended up being. I was at a bookstore. I don't know if you've ever had this happen. It's kind of like a bad Stephen King novel or something,
Tell me
where
more.
where something like shoots out of the shelf at you. And so this happened with me, and it was a book not about numerology because I would have never picked it up. It was a book that had some numerology in it, and so I was reading it, and I was like, oh. It was just that click, Have you ever had that?
Totally.
Something? Yeah. So it was, and I was like, this is my tool. Because I was looking for the intermediary, right? The tool to use. And so for me, numbers ended up, I did the basic calculations, and then I just ate it up because I was like, how does this even work? It's so phenomenal. And the basic thing about numerology is that, because no one really knows what it is, they're like, you do what with numbers?
Yeah, most people think it's like psychic and numeral.
Right, and astrology, a lot of people, and it does go together. We're all attempting to do the same thing overall, and yet the very short version is that the type I use comes from Pythagoras. Were you paying attention in math class? Pythagorean theorem of geometry. So I was not paying attention, by the way, at all.
My dad did. Sure, I paid attention. That was the
good for your dad. So not me. I wasn't paying any attention. I could barely balance my checkbook. So in any event, it's basically posits the idea that numbers carry with them not only a quantitative value like 1 cup, 2 cups, and so on, that they carry with them a vibratory influence, right? A frequency and an energy, and that contains data. So on some level, it's like, so how? And yet, if we're in this digital world, right? And everything is digitized, so it's kind of like cell phone reception or the cloud. Like, what is that? Where is it, and how does that work? So it basically is the idea that everything that we are and everything on the planet basically is this matrix of code. It's numbers.
I was just going to say, any coder would say, oh my goodness, amen, this is exactly.
And exactly. And so any coder would also say that numbers are a language. Right. So for me, I love to study human emotion and the psyche and why we do things and how and all of that. So this became my language to do that. So it's like Morse code. You walk into a room and you've got the the dashes and everything else, and it's just static. But if you know Morse code, you know what's been said. So it's the same here.
Redesign your life if you know Morse code. Right?
Yeah. So let's get into it.
Okay.
I love the whole. Thank you for taking us through
yes,
that.
Absolutely.
For sure. Now, do our readings. No, just kidding. So, how can we apply this? Or how do we do it?
How do you do it? What we need is your name as it appears on your birth certificate, and then we need your birth date. So we did I did Jeslin's. Sorry, guys.
This is great.
Yeah.
And again, this is going to be the short condensed, and so what I like to do is look at basically cycles of time. that we're going through, and then look at your personality profile, is what I would call that. And so you are going through huge transitions right now.
Yes, I am.
You the first, Jess?
Yeah,
Wait,
the caca is hitting the fan, as we say,
has
right
all
now.
year.
All year
All
long.
year,
Because numerologically speaking, we go through 9-year cycles throughout our lives called personal year cycles. And if you know the theme to each of the, now I call it knowing the theme to your party. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah. So the theme to your party is that this is all about conclusions. This is the end of a 9-year cycle, and it's happening at the same time that you're shifting what we call a pinnacle cycle. There are 4 distinct chunks of time. We don't need to go into calculations or anything, but and they're kind of like a degree program that you signed up for during this particular time.
My number signed me up for this. I did not.
They did, and so your program that you've been signed up for a while is guided by the number 7, and that is the spiritual. It's a very high vibe spiritual number.
Yes.
So the fact that you're in this early on, because this is early on, age-wise for you, this has been a time of deep inner exploration. As a child, I bet you felt like you were from planet Mars or Venus or somewhere out
very
there.
glamorous, but I was not from Michigan.
Yeah,
Yes.
not from Michigan, and kind of wondered. And so it was often you'll experience things that test and challenge your deep sense of yourself, of meaning during that time. And you get experiences that draw you into the spiritual, whatever you might think of as spiritual.
I
right?
walked in and I met Dr. Erin and got that. There you go.
Well, exactly.
Challenged every single day.
Exactly. And yet you're transitioning right now into a number 6, which is very different. And speaking of Fridays for relationships, are you interested in extending a relationship into a more serious, up-leveling it?
I would like to eventually, partner up and get married and have a family, but that's it's kind of a tug.
It's a little push.
It's a push and pull.
It's a push-pull. Well, that is favored. This next cycle, this next 9 years is guided by the number 6. That's all about nurturing. It's all about home and family. It really is a time where we feel pulled to nest on whatever that means to you. It doesn't mean that you have to have children, and yet it will make you want to be more nurturing and feel more at home and deal with those sorts of family responsibilities. It's often a time where people get married and have children.
It's interesting, just to interrupt for a minute, if I could.
Yes.
Because we've had many psychics, we've had some numerologists, we've had astrologers, and it's fascinating how similar the readings are when they do read for us. Like it is pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
Just last week, they said, they looked at Erin, they said, real estate, you're going to move. And then next thing you know, she's getting her house fumigated and she's on the move.
There you go.
And they said love. That was what the psychic told me.
Yeah. And so what I love about it is that I work with some astrologers as well, and I jokingly say, but seriously say, that once you know both your astrology and your numerology, you're out of excuses. Because we all are using these tools to say the same thing.
And that's what I'm saying, it's confirmation. I'm not to take away from
No,
your work
exactly.
at all. I'm meaning that this is so confirming, and for me it adds up. The more that you have the different viewpoints and it's saying the same thing,
Absolutely.
means a lot. Yeah.
And I want to point that out and accentuate that as well, because this is a tool. Right? So it's like your diet. It's like, your exercise program. We have to do different things in order to optimize ourselves.
Yes.
So this isn't it. It's just a part of something that can really help you out.
Part of the multivitamin.
Exactly.
It's really key, so you can really understand, 1, 2, validate the way you've been, and then change it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, thank you so much for sharing the insight that you did. I mean, I have a 17-page report
Wow, that's
from
incredible.
you, and it was so telling. At some point, I cried because I thought, oh my goodness, I felt so much freer. This all makes sense. This isn't my crazy. This isn't my fault. This is just my numbers. These are all my little Morse codes, and this is what I need to do so I can move forward into the next year.
Yeah.
So what does she have to do now?
I would
does
say
it tell her some action to take?
Absolutely, because your life path is kind of like your sun sign. So your life path is a 3. You're the communicator. You are all about creative self-expression, emotional sensitivity. You are meant to be in the spotlight, and also you're really learning impeccable communication. So anything in broadcasting, anything in writing, anything like that is very favored for you. And so then we also understand that we're always dealing with the opposition, right? So there are the flip sides and the challenges to that. And so for you, that's extraordinary self-doubt.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to highlight that one because you have several. It's my job as the interpreter here to put it together, kind of like, you know, the chessboard. And you have a challenge in the number one, which is about that's the same. I would just say it's the same thing. It's that even though you can present as large and in charge, you know, underneath there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of self-doubt, and there can be a lot of self-esteem issues. So that's something that I would say just to highlight and to build on that and understand when that devil's on your shoulder that it's usually propaganda, you know?
Yeah.
And just to even know that, or to hold hands with it, make friends with it, say, okay, I hear you, but I'm going to turn down the volume, or maybe you get a timeout in the corner for a little while today, you know, while I focus on the positives and what I know that I'm really good at. And
Or let us
step
know, and I got a
into.
mean right hook. Knock right out for you.
There you go. There you go. Absolutely. And so, and you've got highly creative numbers. So I would also say that if you're depressing your creativity, you will feel down. You will feel depressed on that level. So, and oftentimes, again, it can be a struggle because a 3 has so many ideas, so little time.
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this insight. Tell everyone
Yes.
where they can follow you and get their own chart done.
FeliciaBender.com is the portal for that. So that's where you would go.
Fantastic.